T-Pain, short for Tallahassee Pain, is one of the biggest pioneers of music for the post-2000s era, yet doesn't get the recognition that others like Kanye, Lil Wayne, Kid Cudi, and Drake do. Born in Tallahassee, Florida 35 years ago, Fahim Najum, better known as T-Pain, shifted the whole basis of hip-hop, beginning with his debut album, Rappaturnt Sanga, in 2005. This album was so far from the norm at that time, where T-Pain fluctuated between rapping a verse to then immediately singing a chorus. Most notably on this album, he introduced the world to Autotune through hits like I'm Sprung and I'm in Love with a Stripper. In this video, we're going to explore the impact T-Pain had on music's landscape, as well as analyze the mixed relationship he had with the industry itself. This is Tofu Media. Right now we're running a promotion where we're giving away 3 of our Tofu Media embroidered t-shirts. To enter, just follow our Instagram account @Tofu Media during November. Then on December 1st, we'll randomly select 3 people to ship their shirts out. Now back to T-Pain. While growing up in Tallahassee, T-Pain started out in a group called Nappy Heads. The group dropped just one album in 2002 called Napatine, with T-Pain performing on almost every song. However, as a casual listener, it'd be hard to recognize T-Pain on Napatine as he solely raps and uses no autotune. Before we dive into T-Pain's eventual breakout with autotune, let's talk about the tool's origin. Autotune was initially created to serve as an audio tool for producers to correct vocal pitches of their artists. Rather than having an artist come back to a studio to re-record their vocals, a producer could simply use Autotune to correct the vocal's pitch. Funny enough, the creation of Autotune was actually an accident. It was invented in 1996 by Andy Hildebrand, who was a research scientist in the oil industry. Andy originally created a tool that used sound waves to produce subterranean maps, allowing oil companies to more easily identify potential drilling spots. This invention was also able to detect pitches. As a music fan himself, Andy did some tinkering with this technology and introduced it into the music industry, creating what we know today as Autotune. Audio effects already existed by the time Autotune was invented, such as the vocoder and talkbox, which the latter Stevie Wonder famously performed with in the 70s.
And that is why never can say goodbye.
But never had there been an audio tool before. Soon enough, it was discovered that instead of serving as a tool, Autotune could actually be used like an instrument. In the Autotune settings, you can change the speed at which vocals move to the correct pitch, known as retune speed. By setting the retune speed to 0, which is its fastest, a warbling effect is created, which is the unnatural alien or robotic sound heard. Portamento is a term for which describes the sliding of tones from one pitch to another, and is even present within human speech. While speaking or singing, portamento is curvy as one goes from low to high pitches, but with Autotune's retune speed set at 0, these curvatures are instead zigzagged, going from one pitch to another at nearly infinite speeds.
Where did you get the idea to use, just start messing with Autotune? What was the thing that you heard?
I heard it on a Jennifer Lopez song. It was a Dark Child remix of If You Had My Love.
T-Pain heard this years later around the time Nappy Heads dropped their first album, and was inspired to try and discover how such a sound had been created. After 2 years and flipping through every effect on his computer, he finally discovered Autotune, and the T-Pain surge began.
T-Pain, Rappaturnt Sanga, Convict, yeah.
What's his name? T-Pain.
Mr. T-Pain, come on out.
T-Pain's discovery was groundbreaking, and it became the foundation to his whole career. However, like any foundation laid down, it eventually crumbles. But until then, it seemed 2008 was the year of T-Pain after he released his second album, Epiphany. That year, he featured on 9 Billboard Top 100 songs, released the I Am T-Pain app, won a Grammy, and was, as self-described, the lead consultant for Kanye's polarizing album 808s and Heartbreak, the latter of which would be the beginning of T-Pain's downfall. Kanye's first experience with Autotune was actually featuring T-Pain on his Grammy-winning single Good Life from Graduation. He then brought T-Pain in to work on his then next album, 808s and Heartbreak.
Everything. We had writing sessions, you know what I'm saying? I was in there helping with the a lot of the 808s, and he said he wanted that sound from my first album.
Right.
So, I brought all the stuff that I used to make my first album, which was pretty much just fucking garage band.
While in the studio, T-Pain recalls a painful memory where he was shooting out ideas to Kanye, who mocked them, taking it as far as even writing a song about how whack they were.
And he made everybody in the studio join in with him to sing the song like T-Pain shit is weak. It was actually pretty lyrical. I actually thought he should have put that on the record at some point.
Since the release of Kanye's 808s, artists like Drake and Kid Cudi reference it as a jumping off point for them musically, opening up the door for a new form of rap. Yet nowhere do we see T-Pain get credited, not even in the literal 808s and Heartbreak internotes, aside from one writing credit on RoboCop. Soon, everyone from Lil Wayne to Rihanna to even Snoop Dogg was using Autotune, but it quickly became overused, with artists like Kesha, for example, bringing its status from an art form to more of a meme.
Yeah, I use a little bit of Autotune. Who doesn't?
Then someone showed me this plugin, so you can't hear the notes I miss.
A lot of people work really, really hard for their dreams, but it's not meant for everybody.
That's why you use Autotune and I don't.
Actually,
People were simply sick of it, and it showed. Christina Aguilera infamously rocked an Autotune is for Pussies t-shirt, while Jay-Z around the same time released Death of Autotune, which included the lyric, "Get back to rap, you T-Pain and too much." It seemed everyone was over the Autotune movement, and T-Pain was a scapegoat who was taking all the backlash. This reality became painfully obvious when I'm on a Boat, a song featuring T-Pain that playfully mocked his art, was nominated for a Grammy, yet his own actual music was not. With all the backlash, he sought out to channel this energy into his next album, Revolver, which was meant to be an evolution of his sound. It was still heavily auto-tuned and turned out to be his worst-selling album at that time in 2011. It appeared the T-Pain surge had come to an end. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what went wrong with T-Pain's rise and sudden fall from his role as music's tastemaker, but it could be as simple as Kanye made it sound in reference to Pain's use of auto-tune.
You know, in all honesty, just like Kanye said, he just had a better marketing plan. What is that? He's like, you ain't marketed right, is what happened.
Although T-Pain is no longer at the top of the music charts and has had a bit of a sour relationship with the music industry as a whole, you cannot deny the immense influence he has had. The biggest artists of today, Travis Scott, Future, and Migos to name a few, rely heavily on autotune, something they would have not been exposed to for who knows how long had it not been for T-Pain. So next time you're listening to your favorite musician, just keep in mind, everyone's got a little T-Pain in them. If you like this, be sure to check out our other videos and subscribe to Tofu Media. Thanks for watching.